Hey, wrestling fans, Tone is back. Two audios in one day. Alright, here I am with my Smackdown coverage, or recap, I should say. I thought it was a decent show overall, so, it wasn't great, but it wasn't absolutely horrendous either, like what we've seen on other Raws, or other WWE television. So, let me just get right into it quick. The show begins, AJ comes out, she talks about kissing Kane on Raw, and she was going to explain what she did, but then Vicky Guerrero came out, and she mentions it. Vicky tells her that this isn't about AJ kissing Kane, it's not about Big Show knocking out Vince. Vicky says that, everyone is talking about Dolph, and this is all about him. So then, Dolph comes out and says that he stole the show on Monday night, and he tells AJ that, it's like he isn't going to let her steal his spotlight, and Dolph calls AJ delusional, no, I'm sorry, flip-flop that. AJ says that Dolph is delusional if he thinks he'll become world champion. Him and Vicky, who she refers to as his grandma. And then Vicky slaps AJ, and then she tells AJ to get out of the ring before she chucks her out. And then CM Punk comes out and says just because Vicky's always saying "excuse me" doesn't mean that he has to, or AJ or the fans have to either. Punk says that there's really no excuse in the world that justifies having to listen to Vicky, and he says that Vicky's always putting over Dolph, and now Dolph is going to do this and that, and he'll become champ or whatever. But every time she puts over Dolph, he never comes through. And then he says to her then Punk says to Dolph that he remembers what Dolph said when he was going to beat him for the world title back in January, which was the match I had at the Royal Rumble. And he says, it's the same old with Dolph and Vicky, and it's going to be the same old when Dolph faces Sheamus in No Way Out, and it'll be the same old tonight when Punk and Sheamus face Dolph and Daniel Bryan. And then Punk says that if he's the voice of the voiceless, then Vicky Guerrero is the voice of the pointless. Okay. Then Dolph was Dolph was going to say that he was he's the voice of the next world champion, but then Daniel Bryan came out and he said, well, he called CM Punk AJ's knight in shining armor. He says that it's like AJ probably told Punk that she kissed Kane to save Punk from the monster, and then he looks at AJ and he says, oh yeah, but we know that's not true, and then Daniel Bryan said that it's like AJ has CM Punk wrapped around her little finger, and Punk doesn't even realize it. Then Daniel Bryan says that there's one thing better than learning from his mistake he made with AJ, and that's watching Kane and Punk make the exact same mistake that he made. Then he says that and that mistake, of course, being AJ. And then he mentions that and he says to AJ that she cost him the world title at WrestleMania. And then he says that if she's in Punk's corner at No Way Out, then then CM Punk's bad luck will lead to him becoming the new WWE champion. Then he does his yes chant, and then Sheamus comes out, and he asks Daniel how often do I have to keep proving wrong that it wasn't AJ that cost him the world title at WrestleMania. Then he tells Dolph that he had a really impressive showing on Monday night, but that was only one night. He says that now Dolph is talking about how in No Way Out he'll become the new champion. Sheamus says that in his opinion, all of Alberto Del Rio's injuries done is to give Sheamus another chance to beat Dolph Ziggler again. Then Sheamus mentions that how they were scheduled for a tag match later on in the show, but since they're all in the ring, and he's ready, and Punk's ready, and the fans are ready, get a rip out and start the match now. So then AJ says, if that's the case, if they're going to have the match right now, there's something she wants to take care of. Then she attempts to go after Vicky. Punk grabs her, and there was a bit of a pull apart. And not a bad opening segment. I thought it was good. I thought all four guys cut decently good promos. And like I said, AJ is really is good at being the crazy chick, and Vicky, of course, is good at being a heel too. So then we get into the tag match with the two world champions, CM Punk and Sheamus, versus Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler. Daniel Bryan and Dolph win. Ziggler gets the roll up on Sheamus for the pin. What happened was Vicky Guerrero got on the apron, and then Sheamus, I'm sorry, he was distracted by that. Then AJ threw Vicky in the ring, and then Sheamus was still distracted by that too, and then that let Dolph get the roll up. 1, 2, 3. After the match, Dolph hops over the guardrail or ring barrier into the crowd, and Sheamus runs after him. And then back in the ring, Vicky screams at AJ, shoves her down, he shoves her, and then AJ just gets this wacky smile, and then just starts pummeling down on Vicky. And then Vicky crawls out of the ring. AJ goes after her. She grabs Vicky by the leg, but then Vicky just kicks her off, and then she escapes. Vicky runs to the back. Then Kane comes out, pyro and all. He picks AJ up like that, and then he's carrying her up the ramp. But as that's happening, CM Punk runs up from behind and hits Kane in the back. So then Punk and Kane go at it for a bit. Then Kane rolls Punk into the ring. Daniel Bryan pounds on CM Punk for a bit, and then Kane gets in the ring, gives Daniel Bryan a chokeslam, then gives Punk a chokeslam also. And then AJ watched from the stage, and Kane just looked at her from the ring, and then AJ still watching from the stage dropped to her knees and got that crazy chick smile again. I thought this was it was a good match too. I guess this whole AJ storyline is actually really good. It's been good, but I have a feeling that at No Way Out she's gonna do whatever she can to help out Bryan, and then they're gonna have hopefully have a new power couple. I'm guessing that's what they're gonna do. So then we get Funkasaurus. Brodus Clay comes to the ring, and he says he wants to get down to business. And he mentioned that that Johnny Ace has banned him from being on Raw, and he mentions that Johnny told him that if he gets anywhere near his prized possession, being Big Show, then Brodus will be given the boot on the spot. So Brodus says that he's confident that Cena will take care of Big Show in No Way Out. And then Brodus says it's like he'll agree to not be on Raw or whatever on one condition: if Johnny gives him competition. Hey, I said around there. And then Brodus mentions that Johnny Ace told him that Brodus would be flat on his back before the night was over. And then Brodus asks who's Johnny got that's going to try to put him on his back. And the one man band. Heath Slater comes out. Brodus Clay squashes them. Just Brodus just dominates them. Like T-Bone Taz flex them, splash 1, 2, 3 the end. Then Brodus is doing his stupid shtick. David Otunga slides in the ring and clips Brodus' left leg, and then he worked over it for a bit. That actually wasn't bad. I thought that was good. I actually thought it made sense to have him, to have Otunga work on Brodus Clay's leg like that. You can't stand up if you got a busted leg. So, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of the Brodus Clay gimmick. I'm not a big fan of David Otunga, but I actually thought that having Otunga attack Brodus' leg actually made sense. Then we get to Alicia Fox versus Beth Phoenix. Beth squashes her. And Layla was on commentary. Not much else to say about that. Then Johnny Ace comes out, and he apologizes for Vince getting knocked out on Raw on Monday. But he said, then he also says that, it's like, what happened to Vince, blah, blah, blah. He said it more like it was a warning that, Big Show would pretty much knock out anyone who gets in his way. They re-show Big Show knocking out Vince on Raw. And then Johnny is in the ring, and he says that at WrestleMania, he willingly put his job on the line, and his team won. And he says that his job was on the line also at Over the Limit, and he beat Cena. And then he says that at No Way Out, his job is on the line again, but not really in any jeopardy. He's not really in any jeopardy of losing it, because he put his faith in the man who will destroy Cena No Way Out, Big Show. So Big Show comes out, and he says that he doesn't have any reason to lie as to whether or not he punched Vince on purpose on Raw Monday night. He says that if he did do it on purpose, he might get canned, but then Vince would have to pay him millions for him to stay at home and pretty much not do anything. And then he mentioned that he doesn't have to lie, and it's going to just tell fans the truth here. He mentions that even when he was in WCW, he was never really allowed to reach his full potential and be the star he could be. Because he was never allowed to outshine the so-called faces of the company, Hulk Hogan, Sting, and Ric Flair. And then he says that when he finally became a free agent, everyone told him to go to WWE because Vince could make him a star. And then he mentions that how he came to WWE and talked with Vince, and then was using Vince's voice, when talking about when they first talked, and it shows that said that Vince told him to be a better businessman and to let people learn to care about him, and he mentioned that Vince told him that he had to put on a show. And then he says, that Vince said that his name is no longer Paul White. His name is now The Big Show. And then the show's just like this. And he goes, great name. And he says, that he's done everything Vince's way for 14 years. And then he mentioned, he mentions that guys like Cena, CM Punk, Orton, and Sheamus have all risen to the top while he's been sitting on the sidelines. And he says that he says that he's supposed to be happy about being a special attraction. And says that he for years he smiled and made jokes and slapped the fans' hands and what have you. But now he says he's proud that he's not John Cena. And then he says that in the steel cage and No Way Out, he's going to make up for lost time. He said he says that he'll show the world what he's truly capable of. And the best part is, he is no longer feels burdened by what the fans think. So then he says that what he does to Cena will be extremely deliberate, calculating, and will be uncomfortable. And No Way Out, he'll make Cena suffer. And then he says, he mentions that he's been in WWE for 14 years, but he's looking at the cage match at No Way Out like it's his first, and he guarantees he's going to win. And then he shakes Johnny's hand. And then as they walk out, Michael Cole gets the mic, and he says that he got up from a source that Cena left his home in West Newbury and is going to be in the arena before the show ends. And then the show says if Cena's going to be showing up and looking for him, he won't be hard to find. He'll be right there. It went a little, I thought it went a little long, but like I said, I thought Big Show's promo was good. The storyline, like I say, still doesn't make any sense, but even him saying, he's been a monster heel before. He's been allowed to be a giant. He was, like I said, he was an ass-kicking giant in WCW for a while. When he was there for a while, he was, he was the champion over there. He was WWE champion, world champion. He held the WWE version of the ECW belt, and he was a heel for a lot of those runs. So I'm saying, him saying that, for all these years, he hasn't been allowed to shine or be the star that he really could be, and all that stuff. That just doesn't make sense. Big Show's really good in his delivery, but the storyline just, like I said, doesn't really make any sense at all there. Then we get to Christian versus Jack Swagger. Solid match. Christian wins, of course. Then this was a segment. This was something that didn't air on the show. Jack Swagger gets the mic and he starts complaining about being a jobber, I guess, or what have you. Triple H comes out, gives him a pedigree. Now, last SmackDown taping, they had Triple H pedigree Drew McIntyre. Now, on this taping, they have him lay out Jack Swagger. Is this going to be a regular occurrence where a jobber gets the mic, that's going to air for a live crowd and is going to bitch about something, and Triple H is just going to come out and pedigree him? I really hope that's not the case. I hope to God it's not. And then it's time for Ryback to squash two unknown guys. They do their stupid. They're in these Mike Testa and Eric Cohen, or whatever the hell their names are. They're in the ring and they do the usual corny pre-getting squashed by Ryback promo. And then Ryback just comes out, does the usual, beats the crap out of him. Marching double Samoan drop, pinfall, 1, 2, 3, the end. When is he gonna? I know he squashed Heath Slater and Derek Bateman. Two regular guys on the roster. So it's when's he gonna fight? When is Ryback gonna be in the ring? When is he gonna have a match against a regular roster member? Because it's having him, just squash two unknowns every freaking time you see him is way past old now. Anyway, so then moving on, we get to one of my favorite guys on the company right now, Damien Sandow, and he comes out he has a match with another one of my favorites right now, totally being underutilized, Tyson Kidd. Before the match, Sandow comes out with Mike, and he cuts his usual pre-match, I'm here to enlighten the fans type of promo, and he tells them to remain silent while he's speaking. I love that. It's like the fans are, making all the noise, being noisy or whatever, saying stuff, and he's like, hey, be silent while I'm speaking, blah, blah. And then he says, he mentions that he was attacked by Tyson Kidd, and he said that Tyson will learn the consequences of undermining not only his enlightenment, but the enlightenment of the fans. You're welcome. So then we have Tyson Kidd versus Damien Sandow. Good but short match. Sandow hit the neckbreaker, got the pin. Like I said, Damien Sandow reminds me a lot of Lanny Poffo as the Genius in a way, because just the way he speaks, with his character and everything. And afterwards, he does the Lanny Poffo cartwheel too. So I find that to be entertaining. So then they go backstage and they show John Cena has arrived. He showed up and he comes across Johnny Ace's office. So he kicks the door open. No one's in there. And then he just looks around and walks out. That was a little, that was kind of strange. So then, final segment, Cena comes out and challenges Big Show to come out and fight him right now. Johnny Ace comes out and says that what happened to Vince on Raw is Cena's fault, and he says that the board of directors have said that the Cena Show steel cage match at No Way Out will take place no matter what. And then he tells Cena that he sent Big Show home to protect Cena and in the interest of people power, blah, blah, blah. So then Cena says that since Big Show's not there, he'll knock Johnny out. And then Johnny tells Cena that if he lays a hand on him, he'll be canned. And then Cena reminds him that he reminds Johnny that he just said that the board of directors said that the cage match will take place no matter what, and he can't fire Cena right now. So, it's like, I'm wondering if Johnny Ace really effed up his line there, because it's like, yeah, the match will take place no matter what. Oh, by the way, Cena, if you lay a hand on me, I'm canning you. That was kind of weird, and Johnny says that, then Laurinaitis says that he embarrassed Cena when he beat him over the limit, and he's got no problem embarrassing him right here in front of his family or whatever and the fans. And then Cena says that Laurinaitis is embarrassing. Cena says that he's embarrassed by Laurinaitis being in a position of power in WWE. And then he reminds Johnny that if Big Show loses at No Way Out, then Laurinaitis will be canned as the GM. And then Laurinaitis tells Cena that if Cena hits him now, and then he loses at No Way Out to Big Show, the first thing he'll do on Raw the next night is give Cena the boot. So then Cena says, well, if it's going to happen or blah, 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 he might as well do it. And then he just punches Johnny. And then he knocks him cold. Then he just lays over and does the you can't see me gesture, walks out, and Laurinaitis is laying in the ring, selling the punch to end the show. And that was pretty much it, It wasn't as bad as the usual Cena Laurinaitis crap we usually get, but it was still a little bit on the corny side. And I said, I think Johnny might have slipped up his line about how the cage match is taking place no matter what. Oh, by the way, Cena, you'll be sacked if you hit me or whatever. So anyway, like I said, I thought the show was a decent show. Not great, but not absolutely terrible either. So that'll do it for me right now, and I'll be back on Tuesday with a regular post Raw video. And like I say, you can check out TonyViz.blogspot.com, add visit contact, subscribe to my channel, comment as you see fit, and that'll pretty much do it for me right now. So till Tuesday, this is Tony Viz the Tone, signing off. Take care, everybody.